Okay, so today's job at hand. We're back into the post-apocalyptic vehicle. So we're in an exciting part of the vehicle. We've got to strip out all the complete interior because we definitely don't need it, and we'll probably be cutting a big hole where that gear stick is, like because the tunnel will have to change when it sits on the old Hilux chassis with the big motor and transmission that we're going to put in it. Secret. Don't tell anyone. Anyway, so today we'll strip the interior and probably take the doors off. That might make it a bit easier. And then we're going to do all the running gear and the motor. And so as you do, you start the car and run it for a bit just to warm it up to make it easier. So everything's got to come out of it. Everything, like rear suspension. Thank heavens I got a hoist. I'll take the boot lid off for the moment. So there's lots to do. Look at that roof. Oh, that's bad. And it just started raining, so hopefully none goes on the interior. Not that I need the interior, because all I want is metal inside. Oh, we even get free tint. So anyway, let's start stripping this bad boy out. We even got a sports steering wheel. Maybe we'll use that. So yeah, we've got a bit of stripping to do, so let's start getting into that, eh? So here we go. Thanks for coming to help, Gary. What are we? You're ripping this shit out, are we?
What do you want? Oh, you want that out of there?
Just knock those couple
I think it comes out from this way.
Oh, right. That's a new way of removing bog.
The roof.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah, I think someone put a little bit in there.
Oh,
there's tar under that. There you go.
Or is that the hood lining stuff?
It's releasing. It is actually releasing, Jim.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Sorry, I tore that bit.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's how you...
Oh, look, it's red both sides.
Who would have done that?
Yeah, that's a little hole there, mate.
Yeah.
It just sort of goes on.
And
Look, it's the
on.
gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that's definitely that insulation shit, isn't it?
It's only, at least it's only like a 1/2 mil thick. Or is that 8 inch?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Good luck with the rest of it, mate. I've got work to do now.
Yeah, thanks buddy. Now I can't go outside.
You can, just put a raincoat on.
Yeah, oh well. So we've got a heap stripped out. I did actually think it was recording, but apparently it only works when you push the record button. So this is where we're at. I've got all the boot well, and there's a bit of water and crud in there. I can see the floor. So that's all out. And this is the mess. Oh, look at it. That's the so-called floor. There's some seats. And here's the lovely interior. Whoa, so glamorous, so shiny. The only thing left to pull out of the inside, at the moment I'm going to leave the dash there. I know I will need to cut room for the tunnel, but I don't know how much. So I'll unbolt all the handbrake and the gear linkages and everything in a minute. The hood lining, I just got to take the hood lining out. Is that better? There we go. So I just got to take the hood lining out, and those big speakers at the back that someone's nice enough to put in there. So she looks like a different car when there's no interior. I may or may not use those seats again. Certainly going to need some sort of comfort of some kind. So anyway, so I'll just unbolt those few things there and then get it up on the hoist and start undoing all the front end and take the wheels off and actually use this hoist for what it's supposed to. So anyway, let's get into that, eh? I don't need to worry about the roof for the moment, although it's a see-through roof, but I'll get that hood lining out anyway and we'll go. We're on the way. So let's get cracking. So this car just keeps on giving. I found a couple of bucks. A whole $2 coin and 2 fivers. Oh, that's going to make the whole car heaps cheaper. So interior is completed. I mean, it's completely removed other than that lining on the ceiling, which I probably won't worry about at the moment until I start having to deal with that. I will get to it. It's got to be done because I sort of want it waterproof. I'm going to put the doors back on it, so not today, but for when it's actually ready to drive. So I've undone all the wheel nuts on the ground and let's get this thing up in the air and start pulling some driveline out. Shouldn't be too hard. Famous last words. All we've got to do is undo the shocks, undo the engine mounts. Easy. Brake lines. Oh yeah, all the good stuff. I probably should have drained that radiator. Anyway, I'll get to that. Remove that old battery. Pull out the rear suspension, which shouldn't be too hard being a front wheel drive. There's only a few bits in there. Anyway, let's get into that bit. Here we go. Rightio then, I'm pretty sure I have disconnected everything mechanically and electrically. Like all the hoses are all disconnected, the gear linkages are out of the way, the throttle cable, the clutch cable, the power cable, yes, the starter power cable. Let me get them out there. Cut them. Playing hard to get. Oh, there we go. Put them up the top there so we know where they are. Ah, exhaust pipe. That's what I haven't done. I'll do that underneath. Yeah, so I've taken the heater hoses off. It's the first time I've ever seen a plastic heater core. You know, like inside the car, the heater. I've never ever seen one plastic. Anyway, I always thought they were copper or aluminium or... Anyway, Mitsubishi decided that plastic was fine. So I've unhooked all the fuel lines, everything else there, it's all good. All I need now is to just undo the top struts and then go upwards, I guess. Oh no, undo these ones. But I can do these ones last. Once I've got all the other K-bolts out, like the K-frame bolts out. So I'll undo that one, or loosen that one and loosen that one, and then undo the struts and then go up and undo the exhaust and get that K-frame and everything all unbolted. Oh, the steering, I can undo the steering on the inside. I will get to that. Let's drop this little baby thing out and get it ready for the new one. There's always something in there. Who forgot the exhaust pipe? Bloody hell. That's probably me. I got everything else and just forgot the exhaust pipe. Anyway, let's hack this thing off. What is it, freaking titanium? Bloody hell. Let's get a new blade. Let's try this. Of course, it's really easy to get to. Oh, there it goes. Scared the crappers out of me. Let's try this again. Oh, there we go. Engine's out. Got a big bloody hole just here. Anyway, we'll tidy this up and put some a bit of tape over the brake lines and everything, because I've got a plan for this. Got an idea. What I can do with this drive line, because there's nothing wrong with it. Too little for this project. So anyway, let's get this out of the way. We can try and roll the chassis under. Oh, I've got to put the wheels on it first, the big wheels. Anyway, I'll get the chassis under here and then we'll swap some wheels and we'll sort it out. Anyway, let's get into that, eh? So we're completely stripped out. Motor, front, driveline, all the necessities to make a car run is gone. Even the exhaust pipe, now that I remembered it. Who'd have forget that kind of thing. Anyway, so she's completely bare. I will put the doors back on once we're finished on the hoist, because there's nothing worse than trying to get in and out of doors and stuff like that. But when I put some seats in there, maybe, I'm not sure where it's going to be. Depends on how much of this firewall we have to cut out. That will be a big dependent. That's another story. Anyway, let's get this thing here rolled under and put some wheels on it, like the real wheels, and see how it sort of fits. Anyway, let's get this thing rolled under. Here we go. So we got the chassis all sort of lined up after a couple of goes. Sort of looks like it's relatively center, and that's definitely in the wheel guard. That one's definitely in the wheel guard. I must have measured something right when I cut the chassis. Actually, I'd like to put the big wheels on it first, so I might just go and grab all those and swap them all out. Oh, and I've got to tension up the torsion bar a bit, because I've only got little 3/8 bolts in there at the moment, instead of 1/2 inch, because when I tried to undo them they snapped off. They wouldn't undo, so which was loads of fun. Check that out in the previous video. Yeah, so I'll try and tension them up a bit to give it some height, so when we put the body down on top of the chassis, even if I've got to chock it, so when we put it down on there, it'll hold the body weight. Not that the body's real heavy now, like there's nothing in it. It's just a bit of glass and a light sheet metal. Saying that's probably still a couple 100 kilos. But anyway, so I'll roll it forward and tension up those bolts a bit, and we'll get some big wheels on here. Oh yeah, big wheels, big wheels. Okay, anyway, let's do that. So we got big wheels on. We're ready to lower it down, Gary.
Well, you might as well do it.
I might give you the camera and we'll lower it down, eh?
We can do that.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see how close we are.
We'll get Jim at the controls. Jim's at the controls.
Trying to attempt to.
Oh, that's floor pan. Can't quite get it. Yeah. On the other side. On the other side. Coming around.
Looking at the.
You look concerned.
How awesome does it look though?
I can't pan back far enough. There's too much height in it.
But it fits.
Ah, there we go. Now we can sort of see it.
Like, I mean, the front and everything looks really good. I was thinking I may have had to cut a bit off the front, like for lengthwise, but I think we'll be right. So travel, you'd have to think there'd be a bit in it, wouldn't you? There's a little flat spot in there, like part of the chassis rail.
I'll come around to you.
These ones here will look like they'll sit down on it.
So you're talking about taking out those two?
No, just taking out that one
That
on
one?
each side, and this one will actually rest. Like there's about 70-80 mil, and same with here. There's about 70 mil there.
And coming around, same on the back, say?
Yeah, here I think like we might be able to make a little block or something and just bolt it straight to it.
Alignment's right.
Yeah, same with the other side. So that's going to work. We just have to space up the front. Like, only thing is the height between there. Like, I mean, with the rear diff, with this one, you've only got probably 130 mil. Like between the bump stop to the rubber to the bump stop. I think between there and there would be okay, but we still got to go down 70 mil. So
It'll just depend on side flex then.
yeah, on how much twist. But even then, it still can only go to the bump stop.
Correct.
Okay, we'll do a bit of fiddling and then we'll get back to you. So I want to put a bit of perspective with the size comparison of these wheels that I put on there. They're 35s, and the internet says, oh yeah, you can get bigger than that. But anyway, this is, hang on. This is the standard wheel that was on the Lancer. It's a little 14, not a bad wheel, a little alloy wheel. It's 185 wide, nothing fancy. Good little road tyre for that car, and it sort of suited that car. I'll show you the clip there. And this is the wheel that was on the Hilux chassis originally. This is what this Hilux would have originally come out with. Definitely nothing exciting. A little bit bigger wheel. It's a 16 with a split rim, 205 wide, where that one's 185 wide. But it's a 14, this is a 16. Now we go to this one here. The light's not real good. It's just an old boring old Sunraysia wheel, nothing exciting. Yeah, it's a 15-inch wheel, which is fine. They call them a 31-inch wheel, like overall height. You know, like the actual height of the wheel. It's 31 inches for some unknown reason. And then you go to this one, just massive in comparison, like the height wise. It's just the sheer size of it. You know, it's still only a 15-inch wide rim. Sorry, a 15-inch diameter rim. So, but if you look at it in this angle, not sure if it'll let me with the daylight in the way. So there's a little 185. Then we go up to 205, and then we go to the much larger one. And then we go to the big beefy one. So even comparing those two, like, I mean, that's a heap of difference just in the width. Because if you look at the car, yeah, it's kind of hanging out a bit, just a little bit, and that's how it's supposed to be. But anyway, that's just a comparison to give you some perspective on how big those wheels are compared to the old stocky, the smaller ones. Well, they're alloys, but I mean, compared to what is now on the Lancer, so which is like 4 feet high. I'm gonna need a step ladder to get into there. Anyway, so hopefully that helps some folks if you're looking for wheels for your 4B. I know you can get up to 44s. Well, actually 35s aren't really legal on a road car in Australia unless you've got much wider guards. Like you need to, any drive tyre, this is in Queensland, any drive tyre must have a flare and a mudguard that covers the tread, so the tread being at least to here. So you'd have to have a flare that comes out at least to that width for it to be road legal. Now this car isn't ever going to be road legal, so we're not worried about that. Post-apocalyptic. There's just a bit of info on some wheels for you. Let's get into this, eh? You saw me cut off those brackets there. Those beautiful looking, ugly looking brackets. Now the back ones are actually sitting, flush with the bottom of the body in quite a good spot. We might actually drill through those. And I've used them, these brackets here, and they actually bolt straight into where it's, hang on, let me get the torch there. It bolts straight into where the subframe was. So I've utilised that, and that bracket sits, like that one's got about 2.5 mil under it to 3. So what I'm planning on doing is just using a couple of pieces of flat bar, if I can handle it like this. There we go. Is just put it up like that, and then weld it on the side of the chassis and on the side of that, one on each side, and that'll be Bob's your uncle. So that'll give that heaps of strength. Like the original bracket is only made out of 3 mil, and these are, you know, 5 mil, so that'll certainly be sufficient. And the back ones, I've made up these. Actually got 2 of them, one for each side. It's just a bit of RHS heavy wall, and I've welded a piece of flat bar on it, bit of 5 mil flat bar, and put this gusset on here and drilled the hole, because that bracket there, it was part of the suspension component. So I was just going to pop that into there and put the bolt in. And put the bolt in and then just weld that on, and boom, we have a rear body bracket. So the other one I've already got into place. It's already in place and bolted in and clamped. I've just got to weld it. So I'll do the same with this one. So I'll just put that washer on there, because they're actually eccentric bolts. They turn because they've got these funny little washers. So when you turn the bolt on the head, it actually pulls the suspension component inside or out, so you can actually adjust your suspension when you do it. So, which is a good thing. So it gives me some sort of an adjustment to get the body centered perfectly. So I'll weld that on, and I'll tack it on now, and then once I remove the body off the car again, we can fully weld it. So that's that one. This one's already clamped into place, ready to weld. So it goes all the way up there and most of the way down the actual chassis rail. So I'll be able to weld that on and it will be super secure. Now what I've done, I was trying to measure from the width of the tyre to the guard and all of that kind of, I was mucking around, it was taking me ages. But what I actually did do was, see there's a little plastic fin in there? That's the center line of the front of the body. And this hole is the center part of the chassis. So what I did was line it up to that center part of the plastic and to the center part of the hole, and we've got the body perfectly in the center. Well, compared to the chassis anyway. So hopefully the chassis is not out that little bit, but just looking at it, like we said, it's not ever going to be road registered. So heaps of room on that side, heaps of stick out on this side. I could put a spirit level on it, but I can't see the point. Doesn't that look mean? That looks awesome. Anyway, I'll quickly weld all this on, or tack it on some serious stitches, and it won't come apart. So then when we do lift the body off and on it, it'll be fine. So I'll put a couple of welds on there. But anyway, we'll get into that welding and see how we go. Here goes. So that's a hot one today. Well, isn't that getting interesting? Yeah, comment below on what you think it's starting to look like. So guys, what do you think? The body is on the chassis. It's pretty out there. Yeah, just leave a comment below if you think it looks pretty wild. Actually, see if you can pick what drive line I'm going to put in, what motor and transmission I'm going to stick in this. Yeah, just leave a comment below on what you believe that might be. And I'll probably disappoint you. Yeah, so in the next video of this series, we will be removing the body again, one more time. So we'll take the body off, and then we'll look at putting the engine and transmission into it, and then trying to work out some tail shafts and drive shafts and things like that. So that's the mission on the next one, and hopefully it fits in the engine bay. I don't really want to have to cut out some of the floor pan, but I will if I need to. So hopefully we can get the engine and transmission in the next one. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and if you saw value in it and you enjoy the fabrication work and things that I do, consider subscribing to the channel. That would be awesome. It certainly helps it out. We will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. See ya.